Hey, how's it going? Fantasy Customs here with one of my customers' four-wheelers, and he brought it into the shop because it wouldn't run. So the first thing I did was pulled the tank off and did a compression test, which I got 0 psi. So obviously without any compression you're not going to have a running engine. After doing the compression test, I followed by it with a leak down test, and we had major leakage from mostly on the intake valves, but slightly on the exhaust side too. And so I pulled the head off, and the timing was off to start with. So I just swapped the timing around to see if that would make any difference real quick. And it didn't. So then, after that, I pulled all the valves out, and there was crud inside the valves, dirt, and also other carbon buildup. And then I just cleaned all that out and lapped the valves. And they were pretty well off on the intake side, and the intake valves had quite a bit of pitting on them. So I recut the seats so that the seat sat right on the valve, and lapped the valve out to get most of the pitting off of it, and did the same and touched up the exhaust. It wasn't quite as bad. And put it all back together, put the timing right, and lo and behold, it had 140 psi, which was actually 5 psi higher than what the manual said it should have, which was at 135. But that's good. So after that, I put it all back together and stuck the carburetor on there, and the fuel tank, and the battery, and the exhaust, and a bunch of other stuff was apart, the radiator and the oil cooler, and I started it right up. It started right up on the first try, and it was bogging down though pretty badly. So I asked the customer if he'd ever had it running before, and he said he hadn't. He'd never ran it before. And it had aftermarket exhaust on it. So I figured it was running a little bit rich. And it was. So I went in and inspected the carburetor. It wasn't the best condition. So I cleaned it all up, and if it were mine, I would have replaced all the jets, but I put it back together and it ran fine. Runs good now with no bogging issues or anything like that. So that's a success story, I guess you could say. Give it a little chokeage. Probably need to let it warm up a little longer than that. at least it will run, so that's a good thing. Still running slightly rich, not that big a deal because it runs fine, but a little backfiring. Runs a lot better actually after you get it fully warmed up, and well, he'll be able to ride it now, so that's good for him. And guess that's all I got for you on this one. It's not quite finished. Some of the plastics are missing in the seat. I don't know why he didn't bring them to me, but he kind of just brought me what was a big box of parts, and now it's just some leftovers. So alright, well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and there'll be plenty more to come, so stay tuned.